Okay, good evening and welcome to Yeshiva YouTube. Just Daf It. Today we're doing Nedarim, Daf It, number 25. Great share for you tonight, as usual. I'm going to start Chaf Amid Aleph, second line. We were talking yesterday about when a person makes a shvua, could he have his own interpretation? Are we worried that maybe, we'll see in the Gemara, you call pieces of wood, you can call them coins. Some people, are we worried that people, refer to certain items that everyone seems to think is one item? They would refer to it as a different item. Not only refer to it as that item, but also take a shvu on that. The Gemara discusses on this stuff whether people do that. Is that common practice among people? So the Gemara challenges it. Is it not true that people swear upon their own understanding? They can just give nicknames to certain things. We have a proof this is true. So this is from a Mishnah Masach Shulos. When you make him take a shul, when you take a shul in front of a basin, it's not based on your own understanding of the words that you're saying. El al datenu, el das basin, datenu, das of the rabbanim, el das basin, el das of the basin sitting there, and in front of lafuke mai. Why do they say this? Zuzi, isn't it coming to exclude a case where people have chips of wood and they refer to it as money? The fact they have to go out of their way and say that no, that you're swearing based on our understanding of what words mean and not what your understanding of words mean, shows that people would normally, as common practice, for people actually take not only to give nicknames and other names for things that most people would assume mean something else, but also they would swear to that effect. So the Gemara says, "Lo, it's not a proof." The reason they instituted the Beis Din should say this is because of a certain case with Rava involving a cane. What's the case? A certain man owed money to somebody else. The Rava. These two disputants came in front of Rava. He said to the Love, the borrower, Zil Parali, the Malva, the person who lent him money, pay me. Amalei Parasech. He says in front of the basin, I already paid you. Amalei Rava. Right? This is called Kol for Bakol. So Midrabanan, they impose a shvu on you. Azav Aisya Amalei Rava Imkin Zilish Tabalei Parasech. You go swear that you already paid him. Azav Aisya Kanya. When he came into court, he was carrying a cane. He put money in the cane. He was leaning on the cane while he walked into the basin, a cane filled with coins. So when he was about to take the shvuah, he said to the malva, the person who lent him the money, take hold of my cane for a second so I can hold. Not some Sefer Torah, right? When you take a shvuah, midoraisa, and certain times there are rabbanan, they're masakin that you have to hold the Sefer Torah, right? It's more grievous sin to swear falsely when you're holding a Sefer Torah. Vishtaba the parit. And he took the Sefer Torah and he swore that he paid him kol ma'adahavale biyadeh. I paid him whatever he has in his hand, and it was true, right? Because he was holding his money in the cane. The whole Malva ragas, when the Malva heard that he swore falsely and denied, he was very upset. With Tavra Kanya, in anger, he broke the cane. Vishtabach tahanu zuzi la'ara. And the cane opened up, it broke, and the coins fell out on the ground. It was found out that he actually told the truth. That's why that when you have, they enforced, they said before you take a shvuah, if you're going to say I paid money to the guy, technically, right, he did give him the money because he's holding the cane, which had the money in it, but it has to be that you paid him under our understanding of paying, means not in a secret way where he doesn't know that he's getting paid and he's really going to take the cane back. So it's to refute that problem that happened with Rava, not the problem that people give nicknames to things and take a shvu about that. So the Gemara challenges, is it really true that people don't swear according to their understanding? The Brayse says, The Bryce says we found Moshe Rabbeinu Shvias Yisrael b'Arvas Moab before they entered Eretz Yisrael. And Arvas Moab, before he died, Moshe Rabbeinu made them swear. Amar Lahem, how yodim shalo da'atzchem ani mashpiaschem ela al da'ati v'al da'asam lakom. Shem Arvas Moab, they took the brachos not close. He made Klal Yisrael swear they're going to keep the Torah. He says it's not according to your understanding of the Torah; it's my understanding and Hashem's understanding. Shem Below Yitzchem Levadchem. Right, the next pasuk after that says, right, Lo Yitzchem Levadchem. It's not just you, right? It's also me and also Hashem. My Amar Hu Moshe Yisrael. What was he saying to them? Wasn't he saying to him, Dilma Avdisun Mili V'Amrisun Al Datenu? Maybe you're going to do Avodah Zarah. You're going to say, no, according to us, right? When we refer to this thing, we refer to it as not Avodah Zarah, something else. Mishum Hachi Amar Lahu Al Daiti. Maybe right. So Amar Lahu Al Daiti Lafuke my. Why do you say Al Daiti? Lafuke Dasiku Shmal Chavim Aloha. Like I said before, it comes to exclude that maybe they're gonna worship Avodah Zarah and call it Eloka. It says you can serve Hashem Elokim, so they'll call it God, and they're swearing truthfully they're gonna keep the Torah and they're gonna do Avodah Zarah anyways. That's why he said it's not what you call Eloka, it's what me and Hashem call Eloka. Hashem is the Elokim, and something else is Avodah Zarah. So you see what that people do regularly swear according to their own understanding. And the Gemara says no. Lo avodas kochavim ikra loa. We find elsewhere, even in the Torah, Avodah Zarah is referred to as Haloka, as a deity. The Chsiv v'chol Elohim Mitzrayim. It talks about the gods of Mitzrayim. It refers to them Elohim. Elohim, actually, it shouldn't be Elohim. Elohim is for God. So Elohim was already, there's a source in the Torah for that. That is why Moshe Rabbeinu said them, not because we're afraid they're going to call Avodah Zarah Elohim. Lishba Yasun the Mekayim. So the Gemara persists. Why didn't he make them sit? That's why he made him swear. So the Gemara says, why didn't he make a different shua? Lishba Yasun the Mekayim Sun mitzvos. Right? Why did he make him swear that you're going to keep the Torah al daidi al das hamakom? He should have said you should do all the mitzvos. So the Gemara says he couldn't say that. Mashma mitzvos hamelech. It sounds like the commandments of a king. You can be a king of Basar v'Dam. Right? Lishba Yasun the Mekayim Sun kol mitzvos. You should say you're Mekayim all the mitzvos. Now, usually mitzvahs hamelech, a king orders you to do one thing. So kol mitzvahs is mashma that Hashem's mitzvahs. Whereas mashma mitzvahs tzitzis, that can imply just the mitzvah tzitzis. The Amar Mar we found elsewhere in the Gemara, it says shkul mitzvah tzitzis connected call mitzvah Shabbat Torah. The mitzvah tzitzis is equal to all 106,113 mitzvahs. So if he just said mitzvahs mitzvahs kol mitzvahs, right? They can think it means just to wear tzitzis. Torah. Why didn't you say he should take the shua and mashpia them? That make them take the shua. They should mekayim the Torah. Mashma Torah acha. It's just the word Torah singular. They might think only Torah shebachta or only Torah shebal peh, not both. Toros. Say Toros plural. Mashma Toros mincha Toros chatas Toros. Once you say plural Toros, maybe it's possible just to mekayim all the halachas of a korban mincha, korban chatas, or korban asham. Toros u'mitzvos. Say both Toros and mitzvos. Toros mashma, Toros mincha. Right? If you said both, so then say, yeah, Toros means the three types of karbanos. And mitzvos, mashma mitzvos hamelech. Torah kula. Say, in Shukayim, the entire Torah. So you couldn't say that. Torah kula mashma avodas kochavim. That could just imply you should only be nizar and avodas kochavim, not the other 612 mitzvos. The Sanya. How do you know? The Bible says, "Chamura avodas kochavim shkol kover ba'kilu moda b'Torah kula." Anyone who denies avodas zara, it's like he admits the whole Torah. He's mekayim the whole Torah by denying avodas zara. Lish by ason, the mekayim son avodas kochavim b'Torah kula. Say that you should worship avodas zara and Torah, which is the rest of the Torah. Inam yishesh meos v'shlosh esrei mitzvos, or say 613 mitzvos. Right? You can't say only avodah zara. At the end of the day, it's one mitzvah. So in value, technically, its merit might be the same as the other 612 mitzvahs, but it's technically only one mitzvah. So the Gemara concedes at this point, really, right? Really, there's no proof. He could have said, right, be Mekayim all 613 mitzvahs. Or he could have said Avos Kuchapim in Torah. The reason he didn't say it is not because what the Gemara wanted to suggest, that he wanted to deflect people's proclivity for giving names to certain thing and swearing about it. It's just he wanted to say it in a very easy way. I guess it's more difficult to say the word. Avos Kuchavim v'Torah, or 613 mitzvahs. It's easier to say I'm being mashpia you on daiti v'das hamakom. So therefore, the easier way he took. The Gemara has a similar sugya in Masechah Shvuos, where the Gemara gives a different answer. The reason that he said al daiti v'das hamakom in order to make it a public shvuah, which can't have a public shvuah if you do it in front of 10 people. Kadosh Baruch Hu, Moshe is like Sanhedrin, like 70 plus Hashem, so that's definitely barabim. So it's considered to be irrevocable public neder. That's why he did it. The Gemara gives a different answer over here. I'm going to discuss near the Ben Sion how the Gemara could give two different answers in two different places. Right? I mean, it seems like the answer in Masechah Shavuos is a lot better than this answer. I'm going to talk about what's the maskana over here. It seems like Gemara deflects, right? But at the end of the day, do people swear to the nicknames that they give things? The effect of saying the nickname or whatever I believe is true, even though the whole world or most of the world rejects your interpretation, but you give your own interpretation, you swear to that effect. Do people do that or not? And I'm going to talk about current events, people do nowadays to prove one way or the other. Stay tuned for Ian Ben Zion after the separate share. The Mishnah continues another type of nidre hava, an exaggeration. As you said, I saw a snake like the size of an olive press, the beam of an olive press. Gemara says, "V'lo, is it true? Is it not possible to have such a thing?" There was a certain snake during the reign of Shvar Malka, King Shapur. He was a king of the Assyrian Empire in the early, I think, 200 to 400 AD. Ramule Tlesar Arvasa the Tivna Obalayason. They gave this snake 13 stablesfuls of hay, and he swallowed them all up. It was a huge snake, even bigger than an olive press. Amar Shmuel B'taruf Kulu B'taruf. The Shmuel was, I saw a nachash that had ridges like an olive press. Apparently an olive press, we're going to see, has ridges on it. A ridge, like a mountain ridge, is where mountains, meet at a point, where it's almost like the apex is like, there's no flat surface on the apex, and it just, the ridge goes down like a steep hill. So there's ridges on olive presses. If you've never seen an olive press before, go. There's certain places in Israel, they have these old olive presses. I did some of the touring when my parents were here. Went to some of these olive presses. I don't remember whether ridges or not, but according to Artikel's interpretation over here, that's what the Gemara means over here. There's ridges to make it, I guess, easier to push down the olive press. A ridge, I guess, like a handle or something like that, a place to put your hand, to grip it, so you can press it down. So no snake has ridges like that. So the Gemara says, Kulu nachshi mishrav tarfe. That's not true. And a snake in its neck, right? If you look at the neck of a snake, it actually has a ridge where it's like sticking out, like a piece over there, which looks like a mountain ridge. So then where's Agabo Taruf Kamrinan? He takes a shvua at the olive press. I saw a nachash that had a ridge on its back, which is something which never happens. But listen to Taruf. Why does it say like an olive press? Just say it had ridges on its back. The Mishnah went out of its way to say, like to teach you a halacha about mekkel memkar, doing business dealings. That normal olive presses, they have ridges to grip the beam when you push it down. Why is that important? That if you sell someone an olive press, a beam of an olive press, if it has ridges to help grip it, it's considered a valid sale. Otherwise, it's considered a toast, because most people assume that you're going to sell them an olive press with a beam that has ridges. The Mishnah says, the third example in our Mishnah, when we open our Mishnah, we said 3 Nedarim are mutarim. Nidre shkagos is the third one. What is nidre shkagos? He made a mistake. He takes a neder on condition that I ate or drank. He really thought when he took a neder, right, that he didn't drink. And that's why he took the neder. He said, this thing is going to be usher. I don't remember eating and drinking. And then he remembers that he ate and drank. He made a mistake. Or the other way, shani ochel, shani shosa. It's about the future. I'm thinking a neder, this piece of meat will be usher to me, assuming I eat or drink. He doesn't plan on eating and drinking. But then he forgot. He ate or drank. Amar konam ishtin honestly. Another example, he says his wife is forbidden to get pleasure from him. He's told it. He makes it dependent on the fact that the reason he's angry at his wife is because she stole his wallet to go on a shopping spree. And she doesn't know how to discipline the kids. She hit the kids. And he finds out that what he hinged his neder on isn't true. She didn't steal his wallet. He was the one that spent all the money. And he was the one who was hitting the kids, not the wife. So it's not his wife's fault. So that's called Nidra Shkagos. Let's say another case, Nidra Shkagos. He saw people eating Te'enim, figs that were his figs, and he was upset. They were stealing it from him. Amar Harei Alechem Korban. He wanted to prevent them from stealing it, so he asked them with a neder, saying that if you eat it, I guess they weren't so careful about stealing, but Isurim, they were more careful and didn't want to violate Nedarim. So therefore, it's like a korban to usher to you. And who was stealing his figs? It wasn't just strangers. It was his father and his brother were among those people. His father and brother, along with other people. Obviously, he didn't mean to usher the figs on his father and brother who he would like to share with. He just, the neder is kalo on the other people, the other 10 people there, whatever. Beisil says, no, like we see in the Gemara, which is the halacha, that neder shehuksar miksaso hutar kulo, if part of the neder is batal, the entire neder is batal also, so therefore he asked for the entire group. Part of it, he didn't intend to ask her, so therefore the other half is also not a neder also, and therefore everyone could eat his figs if you're not worried about stealing, but it's not an issue of a neder. Tana, the Rai says, Kashem neder shkagos mutarin, kach shvuos shkagos mutaros. Similarly, shvuos that are done with a misunderstanding are also mutar. Echidam is shvuos shkagos. What is considered? What's an example of shvuos shkagos? Going Rav Kahana Rav Asi, Hadin Amar shvuos adahachim Rav, Hadin Amar shvuos adahachim Rav. They came to a shir. Rav Kahana Rav Asi were talmidim of Rav. They went to his shir. And after the shir, people were asking him, "What did Rav say? What did Rav say?" And he says, "I swear that he said this, right? I swear that he said this. The opposite things, right? I swear that he said it was mutter. He says, I swear that he said it was aser, right? They both are not lying. The rabbis, they're trying to tell the truth. They just, one of them heard wrong. We don't know who heard wrong. According to his own understanding, he thought it was mutter. He thought it was aser. The Neder Shkago is mutaros, meaning they're not responsible for that. They didn't do an avera. Sound like mutaros. Definitely, you don't have to bring a korban. It's not a shua shav. They wouldn't get malchus. It seems from this Gemara that people do make shvuas based on their own das and their own understanding, right? And like the Gemara suggested earlier on Amman Aleph, that people do make shvuas, and that would do that. So we're going to have to resolve these Gemaras with the maskana of the Gemara, which seem to imply on Amman Aleph that people don't take shvuas according to their own understanding. Rasan Ochlin, stay tuned for Ian Ben We'll talk about that. Rasan Ochlin, he saw them eating. The latter case in the Mishnah talks about he sees people eating his figs. Tan Hosam, we learned over there, and later on in the Masechta, Poskim Shabbos Yom Tovim. Person takes a net there. I'm not going to eat meat the entire year, and then he remembers, you know what, Shabbos and Yom Tov are also part of the year, and I'll fast the rest of the year, but I want to eat on Shabbos and Yom Tov. I want to eat meat on Shabbos and Yom Tov. Rishana Yomrim Osan Yamim Mutar Masharcha Yamim Masurim. So obviously he goes in front of the basin and says, I didn't intend to aser Shabbos and Yom Tov. So the basin said, okay, Shabbos and Yom Tov wasn't part of it. That was Nidra Shkagos. The rest of it is still aser. The rest of the year is still aser to eat the meat. At Shabari, Rabbi Akiva, and Rabbi Akiva came and taught, which is basically the sheet of Basil in our Mishnah, that if part of the neder is batel, so the rest of the neder is batel also. So if he didn't intend Shabbos and Yom Tov, so therefore the rest of the neder falls away, and he's mutter to eat meat the entire year. I'm going to stop over here. We'll explain this concept more in tomorrow's share. Stay tuned for Ian Ben and we talk about this concept of people taking shvuos on facts that really go against what the majority of people think. You know, this is all like what news, news nowadays, contemporary news, people we'll take literally, and people will take shvuos based on what they think, even though it's against what the rest of the world thinks, or maybe we'll see. We'll talk about that even coming up.